Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here. So, day 66. This is from Chad Steingraber. MENA, an estimated $156 trillion worth of cross-border payment flows in 2022 alone. When Swell Global lands in Dubai, it will follow previous successful events which saw hundreds of Ripple's customers and partners come together in London and also Singapore. And here you guys have a direct quote. In a hyper-global connected world, the need for cross-border payments is on the rise. With an estimated $156 trillion worth of cross-border payment flows in 2022 alone, as a region containing a number of significant remittance markets and corridors, the Middle East financial institutions are focused on making payments faster, cheaper, and more efficient for the people who need it the most. This is where Ripple excels. We were the first enterprise company, that's a big one, the first enterprise company to leverage crypto to tackle the trillion-dollar challenges associated with cross-border payments. Expertise that we have been bringing to our customers in the Middle East for a number of years. Ripple is proud of its presence in the UAE, and we are excited about what the future holds for our business in the region. Now, outside of this, yes, listen, these Swell conferences are absolutely massive. I've talked about this many times in the past. For an example, this was back in 2022. This Swell event was held in London. Now, at that time, we've seen a few big updates. First and foremost, we've seen a lot of things put, into place around tokenization, their plans around tokenization, the liquidity hub, things like that. We got a great insight on all of that, even CBDCs as well. Outside of this, we also seen money reimagined in the age of CBDCs, where we've seen Carmel Cadet, which is working at MTech, which is working with Hedera. And then we also seen James Wallace, which is the Vice President of Central Bank Engagements, which has given us quite a bit of insights on CBDCs around Ripple. For the most part, they were talking about money reimagined in the age of, well, CBDCs. Outside of this, there was a lot more to really kind of look at. One thing was also the instance of the crypto means business campaign that Ripple was advertising. This was a big one. And by the way, for those that say, oh, well, this doesn't matter for XRP, this doesn't matter for XRP. It does matter for XRP. And the reason why it does is because of the things that we've seen from the Swell event. For an example, here you guys have 10 months ago, Ripple CEO Garlinghouse unveils massive milestones at Swell conference. Within this, we've seen a few things. First off, we see that he said on stage that he believes that the crypto industry will emerge stronger from the current crisis if it continues to focus on transparency and trust. Ripple is and will continue to be a leader in this regard. Outside of this, he also highlighted the massive milestones and announcements that the fintech has achieved this week alone. Thus, $30 billion in payments, both fiat and cryptocurrencies, have been processed through RippleNet. Outside of this, we also seen the MFS Africa partnership become a big thing. This is around on-demand liquidity, their 6th continent. And we got a huge insight into on-demand liquidity adoption. ODL is on fire. Today, using XRP as a bridge currency, ODL can access nearly 40 payout markets, representing 90% of the FX market. This is a $7.5 trillion per day market. I remember 2 years ago when that stat was just 4 markets. This was 1 year ago nearly. Where we are at today is significantly larger. All of the partnerships that we've seen, all of the major things that we have seen around Ripple and XRP today is even more incredible because one, XRP has been cleared, right? And outside of that, We have seen so many big updates this year alone. I am very excited for this Swell event because if we see anything close to the announcements like we've seen back in 2022, it is going to be a very exciting time. Now, outside of this, I see a lot of people talking about a few things over on Twitter, and we are going to address it. One thing that we have been seeing is the discussions around ISO 20022. This is a messaging standard, but outside of that, right, like there's a lot more left unexplored. Shout out to ISO 20022, let's do it. We do see why is, and this is a question and answer, why is ISO 20022 taking off this time? It's different this time because all major reserve currencies are migrating to ISO 20022 by November of 2023. And here you guys have it. So it's different this time. The high value payment market infrastructures of all reserve currencies are in the process of adopting ISO 20022. Over here, we do see by November of 2023, market infrastructures for, and they do outline all of the major currencies. Only chips will support ISO 20022 natively and pass on data-rich payment orders. Fedwire Fund Services will follow in March 2025. In addition, the transaction manager will be fully available to support data integrity across the correspondent banking chain, regardless of currency. We believe that the cross-border payments industry will have the maturity by November of 2023 to support data-rich ISO 20022 transactions. Now, outside of this, a lot of people have been saying that ISO 20022 is the flip the switch moment. We see over here, we do see, you say maturity, because this is an individual responding back to ISO 20022, let's do it. You say maturity, then flip the switch. And he's posting this video. It's a little bit of a meme video with Brad Garlinghouse talking about the flip the switch moment. You guys probably already know about that quote. But here we have Swift activation settings. So the Swift 2023 functionality can be activated via a central switch. The new functionality can be switched on / switched off in the application, allowing to view and test the functionality before the activation date in November of 2023. We see over here, of course, that this allows to test and finally activate the switch to generate outgoing CBPR plus messages at any given date. Additionally, the configuration switch provides flexibility in going live with CBPR plus payments at any time. And then last but not least, we do see blockchain products within the Swift CBPR plus activation layer. This is the overall system, configuration system with Swift and these new payments. Very, very interesting. Again, is this the flip the switch moment? We are not too sure. Remember, when we talk about the flip the switch moment, it's not necessarily, hey, look at the price is going to reflect immediately. No, it's more so this is going to accelerate the adoption layer around blockchain, specifically on the banking and financial institutional level. Outside of this, though, I've talked about ISO 20022. Here you guys have from Bob Way. The reason this 2022 or 2022 transition is extremely helpful to Ripple's bank sales team is this means that every bank is required to implement new technology. Let's back it up a little bit. With this transition, which is happening over the course of the next 2 years, it means that every single bank is now required to implement new technology. Now, let me ask you this. For those out there that are sitting there saying, well, why would they want to even hold XRP? Why would they even want to touch XRP? Why would they even contact Ripple? Would a bank hold XRP if it was going to save them money? Yes. Yes, they would. Because it makes sense. If I told you to hold XRP and it saved you even 10% per year, you'd 100% do that. It's a no-brainer. Banks hate to change an already working process. Change can introduce new problems, which means bankers get fired. This is the #1 reason most bank integrations don't happen. New system development is expensive and risky. Mistakes can generate bank losses or fines. Bankers get fired. The person you're negotiating with must have product budget, development budget, risk appetite. With a mandatory 2022 change happening, the person you are negotiating with only needs to have product budget. Money for development has already been allocated elsewhere. Nobody gets fired for following a mandate. That makes the sale a much easier lift for Ripple. Also, that being said, bank software sales is still a hard process, especially with the SEC suit still adding FUD to the process. Now, we actually have the suit put behind us in terms of XRP. With Ripple, yes, it's still a big question, but I think that we got a little bit more of an insight. I think that we got a little bit more clarity around that. And I think that now we are starting to see names warming up to the idea of, hey, maybe it's not a bad idea to get in contact with Ripple. Imagine the NDAs, imagine the players behind the scenes that are probably still in talks with Ripple today that we don't even know about. We do see, but even if banks wait for a settlement, their 20022 upgraded system becomes much easier for Ripple to integrate with them. The biggest impact is going to be that even smaller banks are going to be upgrading their systems. That creates a much larger pool of on-demand liquidity compatible banks. Smaller banks get the most benefit from on-demand liquidity. It lets them cut the larger correspondent banks out of their flow and cost, and I keep telling you guys about this because it is so significant. And here you have another great video. This got posted by Ingrid over on Twitter. Check this out, ISO 20022 versus Swift, what it means for CBDCs and cryptocurrencies. Two cryptocurrencies that are members of ISO 20022 standards bodies are XRP and XLM. Listen closely.
What exactly is ISO 20022? Well, it's a new global standard for financial messaging that is making waves in the industry. Basically, it helps financial institutions securely and efficiently exchange information with each other. It was created by the International Organization for Standardization, or ISO, an independent, non-governmental international group that sets international standards for things like quality and security management. If you ever sent a wire transfer, you maybe heard of another messaging standard called Swift. It's similar to 20022, but there are some key differences between the two, like the data format, level of detail, and security features. Swift uses its own format, while 20022 uses XML, which is more flexible and easier to integrate. Some central banks and financial regulators have already required the use of ISO 20022 for specific systems and applications. For example, the European Payments Council has set a deadline for 2025 for all SEPA payments to use 20022, while the Federal Reserve in the US is encouraging financial institutions to adopt it by 2023. So what does this mean for digital currencies? ISO 20022 has the potential to play a key role in the development and implementations of CBDCs, as it provides a flexible and standardized framework for financial messaging that ensures consistency and interoperability between systems. Adopting ISO 20022 could increase the use of cryptocurrencies that are compliant with it. Two cryptocurrencies that are members of the ISO 20022 standards body are Ripple's XRP and Stellar Lumens. Recognizing the value of ISO 20022 messaging and its potential to transform the financial industry, Stronghold has utilized this technology in conjunction with blockchain ledger payments in select projects. Messaging standards are crucial for enabling the efficient and secure exchange of financial information between different systems and technologies. They play a critical role in improving the overall performance and reliability of the financial services industry.
And there you have a great little insight there on what is happening. The entire realm of payments is changing. This is going to reshape the entire industry, and I want you all to understand that there's only a select few that are at the forefront of this, and Ripple with XRP has been at the forefront of this for a very long time. And the same goes for XLM. These are two that have been mentioned on multiple documents many times that I bring up even today because it is so significant to bring up. And also outside of this, we already know that XRP is, well, you've guessed it, the secret sauce. Shout out to Riz XRP for this clip. Real quick, I'll play it.
Well over half of our total transaction volume, because we do have a fiat and XRP enabled product called on-demand liquidity. Over half of all of our transactions go through XRP now. Over half of all of our transactions go through XRP.
So let's think about this, right? Ripple is doing half of its overall transactional volume with XRP. So if you think Ripple is absolutely killing the game right now, and they're only going to continue to grow and expand and become much larger, and they are only going to continue to pioneer XRP in the way that they have been so far, what makes you think that XRP is not going to be extremely big in the future? Even if Ripple is not creating value for XRP as a token, they are going to create significant demand. And when you have supply and demand, well, guess what? That demand is only going to continue to grow. The thing about XRP supply is that it won't. It is stuck at sub 100 billion. And it's only going to be there, and it's only going to continue to be burnt as well, because a significant amount of XRP per year is burned through transactional fees. It might not be as much as most people want it to be, but it is still burned. Outside of that, though, when you increase the demand and increase the transactions per second and per day, well, now you have a lot more burning happening around XRP. Now you have a little bit of a scenario where, you know, the supply is diminishing, yet the demand for XRP is only growing tremendously. What do you think happens next? I'll let you guys comment down below what you think happens next. And if you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because I'm free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this world. That's been Nick. Peace out.